Mr. Putin's New Year's message, or Christmas message really, because under the Russian calendar Christmas is on its way, and people often in Russia talk about a New Year's tree rather than a Christmas tree. Mr. Putin's New Year's message is pernicious. He talks about, not about Russia, in fact, he talks about the West. He talks about the Western elites hypocritically assuring us of their peaceful intentions, but in fact they have encouraged the neo-Nazis in every possible way. And he then goes to talk about defending the motherland. Well, defending the motherland may well indeed be a sacred duty that we owe our ancestors and descendants, but the motherland has not been attacked. It is Putin and his tyrannous regime that has attacked a neighbouring country that indeed had given up its own missiles, its own nuclear weapons to Russia in the assurance that Russia would protect it. Russia has invaded Ukraine. The neo-Nazis, these are Russians. These are part of the Kremlin. It's the Kremlin which has got the pernicious laws against being gay, against the LGBTQ plus community. It's the Russian tyranny of Putin which has placed its opposition in prisons and which has thrown people out of top floor windows. It is the Russian tyranny which is neo-Nazi, and it's not the whole of Russia. The whole of Russia is subjected to a propaganda which is unbelievably aggressive and unbelievably overwhelming. Overwhelming. And if somebody doesn't say what they want them to say on television, I know from my own experience the Russian media simply dubs the words they want to hear into the mouths of the people who are being interviewed. They did it to me. They can do it to anybody else. That is what Russian media is about. And we in the West have failed to combat that Russian propaganda, because I think we are so smugly satisfied into thinking that what we see on television is a form of truth. This is not a form of truth. This is the most aggressive propaganda that we have ever seen since World War II, since the Nazis. If there is any neo-Nazi activity, it is from Russia. It is from the Wagner Brigade, which recruits its soldiers from prison, which offers prisoners, murderers, rapists immunity should they serve in the army. This cannot be right. It was a year to put many things in place, says Putin, and draw a clear line between courage and heroism on the one hand and betrayal and cowardice on the other. No, there are people across Russia. There's a mounting group of people across Russia who are recognizing that this war is wrong. This war that for so many months Putin pretended was not a war. In fact, anybody who called it a war was imprisoned. And now he himself has called it a war. There's even a politician who is daring enough to have suggested that Putin should now be arrested for breaking his own law, for calling this special military operation a war. And that is the point of lies and lying. In the end, you forget what you've said. Putin has forgotten what he said in the past, because he is fundamentally a liar, an instrument of hate. You cannot wish New Year when all you believe is hate. Putin needs to be put in his place. He needs to be told what is right. He needs to pull back. He needs to take off his Kubinsky heels and hang them up. And he needs to move aside for somebody of worth to take over the Kremlin. That may take some time. But in the end, evil cannot prevail.